What's going on, y'all? It's a nice little after hours episode that we like to do here these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Little WFS review, huh?
Little OT. Nothing hurts.
So we're gonna be talking about The Last of Us. What episodes, Trey?
We're doing episode 5 and 6, Endure and Survive, and Kin.
Oof.
Both great episodes. That Endure and Survive episode, man.
Yeah. I feel like it bowed and then it rose again. Like it was just, there was a couple dips a little bit kind of in terms of pacing. And then these last two episodes are just straight killer all the time.
Just flames, bro.
Yeah.
Straight fire.
Literal.
So tell us what happened. Well, episode 5.
Alrighty. So Endure and Survive, you finally get to see Henry and Sam make their like vocal appearances. Because they come in, they finally start talking about themselves and who they are. And it's a little bit of a switch up from the game as usual. But if you find out why the major conflict in that town exists.
Yeah.
You find out a little bit more backstory into the town with like defectors and Fedra and then the people that uprose.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a big us and them going on in that town. And then you find Henry and Sam in the middle of it because Henry was one of those defectors, or not defectors, informants.
Mm-hmm.
They were calling him
he was
informants.
an
Yeah, he was an informant.
Yeah, and so he was just, persona non grata to the eyes of the people that did the uprising. And that's where you see that Kathleen's whole motivation comes up. You get to see a little bit more of the leader of that group, the militia. It's Kathleen, and she's got a darkness to her, man. Like
where her rage comes from.
Yeah, like she has like this unbridled rage that really does get, elaborated in this one episode, which is cool. Like you get a lot of character development in just a single episode.
Yeah, when they pop up to, well, she's in her house.
Yeah, like in her childhood
bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then her right-hand man pops in there and she's like,
I used to be in the storms and like whatever, all that stuff. Yeah, she's got that like tiny voice.
Yeah, who told you I was in here? You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, your mom. Uh-huh. Is mom about to die?
Shoot her. Just go ahead and shoot her.
Yeah. And so like you could see her kind of like spaz out momentarily.
Yeah.
But when I say spaz out for her character, like she looks, it's like that eye twitch. It's kind of like, remember on Chappelle when he was doing Prince and he was it'll be the so-and-so, the shirts versus the blouses. And he's all, and there's a little wince.
Yeah, she has a moment. She has a vulnerable moment, like where she feels caught off guard, and you see that. Like she's the actress who played Kathleen was like amazing. Everything was broadcasted very well and telegraphed very well.
And she's not an American.
Yeah, she has a pretty good accent.
Yeah, she did a really good job. I was actually surprised because her real voice is nothing like the role she played. I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah, she tapped into a certain kind of character there, and it conveyed very well for the story. It was a good carrier of that story.
Yeah, a lot of times with like English or Australian, like that accent, those characters do Southerners really well, or they at least just remove their accent. Right, you can still hear their voice, like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
he sounds the same when he's Doctor Strange or when he's Sherlock.
Yeah,
it goes from talking like this to talking like this. It's the same, but she totally changed. She did a great job.
Yeah, she sounds like somebody from America.
Yeah,
just like
that Kansas City central. She did it. She did it well.
That good Midwesterner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or that soft. What you would think would be a person who's soft.
Yeah, but that character is just so multifaceted. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's really
man.
cool. It's really cool to see. And then you get other stuff like the implication of them, kind of having secrets under the basement, figuratively and literally. That was very interesting seeing all that.
So you get the backstory finally of Henry and Sam.
Yeah.
And how the guy that I guess I'm going to say spoiler alert. You're here.
You know what you're here
for. Yeah. The guy that she had killed.
Yeah.
At the beginning, the doctor that
she shot.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
you are correct. She shot that dude.
She shot the doctor that delivered her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my God. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that was a heavy scene. Yeah.
Right. So you see that in episode 4, but they show how he was hiding Henry and Sam because in episode 4, they show this room that that they were in, then they were hiding, but It's like, okay, what's the significance of this? So
and then it elaborates really nice on that in that next episode.
Yeah, these two episodes play very well together as a night part 1 and 2. Like, I think if you were binge watching this show, that whole story arc
would feel like
better.
one episode. It would come through together. Like you could easily spend like 2.5 hours probably is the total runtime of those.
Yeah.
Like and not feel like you were sitting there for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. It felt like feature film pace, I'd say, with the 2 episodes put together.
Yeah.
Like a good one, not like a one that drags on.
Yeah. Man, that was such a powerful part, when they finally meet up with Joel and Ellie, when they show modern day with them and Joel and Ellie. And as you said, the secrets in the basement, they go underground.
Yeah.
After they hatch the plan to get out of the city. To get out of the city, right? And they go to the school and you get this sigh of relief.
Yeah.
This childlike
to respite. Yeah.
They did a really good job of capturing the childlike moments.
Yeah, like when they're playing soccer.
Yeah.
In there and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ellie doesn't for just a moment, she's not carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Yeah, she's being a kid.
She's being a kid.
Yeah.
The switch that we didn't talk about they made is, Sam is not deaf in the game.
Yeah.
The actor is deaf in real life, and he's they made it a deaf character.
Yeah.
And Neil Druckmann in the post show, post credits, he's like talking about what he did with Craig, the guy that wrote the show with him. He was like, "Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah,
that's such a good idea."
Yeah.
And that's just a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes this episode all the more tragic.
Yeah. The whole premise of the young man like having to be in a world that he cannot hear, and then him communicating with his brother and everything like that. Like, yeah, that flourish to that story point was amazing.
Yeah.
The only way you could tap in and communicate is by directly communicating with him. So everything that he's internalizing is externalized, and you have to just pick it all up.
It really solidifies the bond.
Yeah.
And it's I
not
think
only are you my brother, you're the only person I can communicate with. Like,
I forgot where I heard it, but I didn't think about it like this at first. But it makes total sense. It's a literal mirror image of Joel and Elton. But it's a mirror, mirror image of them and their relationship. It's how close they could become, or how close they are becoming to one another.
Yeah, it's almost like foreboding in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this is eventually the kind of working relationship you all have.
So they get out of the city, right?
They get almost out the city.
Almost out of the city. And I don't recall this part being, Kathleen's not even in the game, but you had to climb something else. It wasn't a house when you got to the sniper, right?
So you get swarmed and they fall off that bridge into the river and they actually get saved, but they get separated when they get into that Fedra gate. And then so there's like hard feelings there. Like Joel's about to like just beat up Henry because like they just split off. And then he had that whole thing. It's like, I knew you were going to make it, but that's like a total bluff because he just doesn't want to get punched more. But yeah, that moment of tension between them starts there, and then they realize, well, you did save our lives.
Yeah.
That's where that differs in the show, where they don't separate. The only one that separates is Joel with that little old man who's a sniper, but there's still a sniper part during that time when you're still walking all of them through that level looked just like that scene, which is great. I love when there
was a great set piece.
Yeah, when the show has like a set piece that like doesn't exactly like replicate the whole set, but it gives you the feeling of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that feeling of him just reloading the weapon and everything. Like you're there as a player, and it's kind of nice when you get that cinematic version.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. All right, so we got to talk the infected.
Yeah,
the way they roll out that swarm of infected.
They pour out, dude.
They did a great job.
They really did.
They did.
The way, because what you're worried about, you got all these emotions right running through you as a watcher with Ellie down there, the brother down there, and then here comes old girl trying to get everybody. It's finally gonna come to a then it switches like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, this is a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the infected actually ended up saving their lives.
Yeah,
because Kathleen and the crew. So
they were getting ready to get them.
Had them dead to rights, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were almost out of there.
And imagine like this is a fully well equipped militia. Like they didn't stand a chance against a swarm that they didn't expect. Like
No.
That is like the circumstance, or that is a state of humanity at that point. Like no matter how prepared you are.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do against this infection. This swarm of death that's coming around with those guys, man.
Yeah, it's chaotic, dude. It's great. Yeah, you're right. It was choreographed well. There was like that whole scene when they crawl out and you have that center shot of that woman, and she's coming out. She gets trampled, and then she just gets back up and still charges. Like that was a crazy detail.
Yeah,
dude, that bloater.
When the bloater grabbed homie, and he broke that dude like a like a stalk. Like those weeds you get in your backyard. They call them milkweed. It's just like it's like they're tall, they're almost kind of spiky, and they got the white center. That's why they're milkweed. He just snapped that dude like, I got you. Blah. Mom had a baby and his head popped off. I was just like, damn, this thing is brutal. I was like, wow.
There's a payoff there too with the way Kathleen dies, because she's like arguing with Henry behind that car.
Yeah, she could have got away.
Yeah,
she let her rage and her just for revenge.
Yeah,
kill her. They killed her.
And she says that thing to him, like sometimes kids die, and then like a little kid clicker like just jacks her up. Dude.
Yeah,
and right. I'm like, hey, careful with poor choice of words.
Yeah. That little kid that played that clicker was very unnerving. The way like she crawled through the back of the vehicle like in a non-human way. I was like, I was like struck with terror, dude. Like, get out of there. It was a great. That was a great. Like I would say. It felt like 5 minutes, but it felt like it went by like in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
With just how much was actually going on.
I wish when they were doing the sniping with Joel, they would have done like that movie Doom and flipped to a first person shooter view.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, bing, bing. I mean, they don't need the sound effects, but
still, that would have been especially like, that would have been a nice little tie into the video game aspect of it.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Just to get behind the crosshairs.
Yeah.
So they make it out of that situation.
Well, they kind of do. Like,
well, I mean that in particular, that one situation there, and then that's when it takes that turn.
That tragic turn.
Yeah,
man.
dude. There's a moment where you feel like things are good, and then once again you get that scene with Ellie and Sam.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of worried looking, and like, if you play the game, you know what's going to happen and stuff. But the way this one delivers is a little bit different, which I liked.
They were a lot more caring and soft. Like I vaguely remember that scene from the game. I haven't played this game in years, so I was a little fuzzy. I couldn't remember all the details, but I knew that neither one of them were long for the world. And I knew that much. But when he showed his leg, and I was like, even though I played the game and I know that's not how it happens. When she cut her hand, they give you that little bit of hope where you're like, shit, are they going? Because they've been changing things.
Yes.
So it's like, are they going to flip it? It's like, nah, not everybody has to die.
Yeah, the show is great at doing that to your expectations.
Yeah, because of the changes they have made so far. So when she wakes up in the morning, like he's like, stay up with me. And they wake up in the morning, and she's all Sam, and then
that boy turns around and
he's infected.
And then Henry has to make it's a natural instinct.
Yeah, he had to do it.
He popped Sam. I'm glad they didn't show it. You see the body, but you don't see blood. They don't, or do you see blood? Do you see blood?
Yeah, you see blood. Yeah.
Okay. You see the body there, but they don't show his face. That made me feel okay. Because it's still a kid.
It's still a kid that you're,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
that seems so quick and it hurts.
And then the shout out to the actor for portraying the grief.
Yeah. And the unnervingness and oh my goodness, all those emotions going through that would be going through your head when you have to make a decision like that. Yeah,
that was probably a really heavy day on set for them.
Oh, like, you already know.
Yeah, that guy really poured his heart into that. And then like that.
What did I do? What did I do wrong? What do I do? Or what did I do? Or what did I do wrong?
I think it was a mixture of everything. I think it was like a big flood of stuff, like questions and stuff. And then you hear that guttural like reaction that Ellie has, like like it's just, it was terrible, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That right there was
sad. And it pulls your heartstrings.
It was really sad. Tragic, man. It was tragic.
I take it your wife cried again.
Yeah, I think so.
She cries like
She
every
cries. She's
episode,
always, but she cries. Like this is who she is. She's an emotional person.
I thought about your wife when I watched that too. I was
I'm not gonna lie though. Even I was like, oh man.
I knew it was coming. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I was
the
like,
way it went down. It's been a minute. Even though low key, I did just buy the remaster. I bought the remaster like last week. Rich was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I gotta do it. And I'm at the build part of that game right now. It's beautiful. Like that remaster on PS5, like it's beautiful. Like it's great.
I'm surprised I haven't done it for the second one. I bought the second one, and it's a PS4 version.
Well, like remember what I said? It's a PS5 game in disguise. It's optimized.
Yeah, it's definitely made for the PS5. You can tell.
Yeah, you start seeing it run at 60 frames and everything. Like it's nice. Man.
You can feel you can feel the steps in the snow in the controller.
I forgot that we talked about this too. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting old, man. Yeah,
but
I forgot.
So. Yeah, dude.
They gotta bury him.
Yeah, and then she writes that note. I'm sorry. Yeah, on there. Just think about that little girl thinking that she can save the world, and it just, oh man.
Yeah, it's like a reality check, and then they don't get that chance to like shed that trauma, and then they just keep walking towards their destination. Yeah, and that's like a real hard truth that a lot of people resonate with, because sometimes you don't get that chance to talk about it.
Well, it's crazy because
you gotta keep going through that.
Yeah, and it gives you the literal like form of that.
Well, they switch places.
Yeah,
Ellie and Joel at the end switch places. She's like, "Let's go."
Yeah,
she's done with it.
Yeah,
she's hardened.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. You see that
because up until that point, it's been him. Come on, let's go. But she's like, "Nah, I'm done. Let's go. I'm out. We're out of here."
I didn't realize that. Yeah, Joel seems to be softening more with the way the story is playing out, and then Ellie's hardening up.
Right. It's like a transference of personalities. Like it's
it's a loss of innocence.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're on the road now to episode 6. We move right into that.
You shoot 3 months. I mean, was it 3 months? 2 months? 3 months? You shoot 3 months, I think, into the future.
Yeah, 3 months. I think it is.
Yeah, the season shifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that opening was cool. I like the opening with the couple that was in the shed.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That was a dude. Wasn't that the Native American guy from that show from the 90s, Northern Exposure?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I have no clue.
No, you were that's right. Y'all were younger than me.
Yeah, I have no clue. But I know it was funny the way that just whole interaction went. Like,
yeah, it was like they were amused.
Why didn't you shoot him? Yeah, I couldn't reach my gut.
I like that they took a moment to give you a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
Before they like start moving into more, heart-wrenching stuff. Or not really heart-wrenching, but just the more dramatic stuff.
Yeah.
It gave you after, especially after what you saw in the last episode, you're like, oh, what? Shit, okay.
Yeah,
that's
just
funny.
2 people just surviving in this world, and they have levity. And then despite having guns in their faces, they're like, whatever, let's just get these vagrants out of here. Yeah. And they steal a rabbit, they get their way out of there. And but still that scene was cool. And I fed him some soup, and it's just cool that you see, not everything in this world is dark, and there's like pockets of humanity still there just surviving. Yeah. And I guess they serve as that example.
They did. They did. They did a good job of doing that. I hope we get more moments like that.
Yeah. It's good. It gives you you're right. It just gives you a good feeling.
So you're moving to Tony, right? Yeah.
Tony.
Where I get Tony from?
Tony has done it again.
That's right. It feels good. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole traversing that from that cabin to getting into that town that they have.
Wyoming, right?
How they I think it's Wyoming.
Okay.
How they're don't cross the river, it's the river of death. And then you get to that first river, and he's like putting off like warning shots, like trying to see what happens. They cross the river, and then they're just going about their way, and then they're like, this river's really, wait a minute, Joel, what if this is the river of death? And then as soon as she like utters that statement, you have the gang roll up on him on horseback.
Yeah, you have like that group of militia or whatever, like the protectors of the village.
Yep.
And you get like a different interpretation of what that death symbolizes. Like, there's obviously like raiders and stuff that are trying to get this thing all the time, but that's why death is happening. It's not like
a vicious group of people that just kill anybody that come within their field.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, and there's a community behind that, and there's like a justification that like really subverts your expectations. Like you think it's more raiders, but it's like a village full of people.
Yeah.
It's a commune. Yeah.
That dog. That scene with the dog.
When it smells her. Yeah. Oh, that was heavy.
Man, that was like heart stopping. Like, oh man, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
You're like, Joel's gonna have to kill a lot of people right now.
There's that,
and explain it to his brother.
So there's that, and there's also that scene where like you start seeing he's getting like a shortness of breath.
Yeah, he starts having them little like panic attacks.
Yeah, have y'all seen all the memes?
Yeah,
of that,
bro,
by the
they're
way?
running through that.
Oh man,
man, the internet never forgets.
It
right?
never fails, man. It's always on.
Undefeated, man. Undefeated. Okay, so the dog smells her, starts licking her. So you're like, oh,
thank God.
Cool. And then, they ride into town.
Well, no, then they have that whole other set of questions where it's like, okay, well, you pass that, you pass that part. Okay, now what the fuck you doing here, man?
Yeah.
Like, and then, what's her name? Marlene? No, not Marlene. Maria.
Yeah, she recognizes him. Yeah, she recognizes Joel.
What's your name?
Yeah.
And then you get to that. They're riding into town.
That's right.
I don't even think he answers the question. It's just what's your name, and then they're on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's like her dude's brother. So,
and brothers, right? You kind of look like my husband. My husband's got a brother named,
Joe. I think it's funny that they didn't take. Tell me if I've said this before. They didn't call him Joel.
Yeah, everyone calls him Joel.
Joel.
Yeah, but I just because it's a Latino actor. I just thought it was interesting. They didn't try to even like lean into it and be like, "This is Joel."
Nah, man, you gotta let. That's one of those things that you just gotta let ride.
Anyway, so he gets off the horse. Tommy.
Yeah. He has tears in his eyes when he sees him. Like it's a real powerful emotional thing.
Yeah, man.
You start seeing vulnerability in Joel. Like, you start really seeing that story.
And then it kind of ties into the aspect of the world that they're living in, man. That your brother, like the real raw emotion. Who knows how long it had been? How long? It hadn't been 20 years. It's 20 years since all that happened.
Yeah, so it's been a while though.
It had been a while. You can tell.
Yeah. It's like, dang, my brother's alive.
That hug, that was a good hug.
Those manly tears.
Yeah, that was a powerful moment. They find each other again. Joel kind of realizes that the perception of his circumstance in his brain was totally wrong. And he's like in a commune after that. And they give him the grand tour and they show him all the sheep and stuff. And like, it's kind of funny how his brother catches to the fact that they're communist. It's like, that's what we literally are. We're communists. He was like, you could just tell like him, you're shaken by it.
Ate him a little bit.
He's like, I'm communist.
I forgot about that.
The set
I like
was
that
great.
little joke they had when they showed the sheep too, and Ellie was like, "There you go, Joe."
Yeah. Man, did you see that cameo? That young girl that looked like Dina.
Yeah, they threw Dina in there real smooth.
Yeah.
Man.
And Ellie's like, "What?" Like just yelling.
Yeah, Dina checking her out from the other side of the.
That's for The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah,
right?
you get that in the second one.
Yeah.
They threw that in there.
Some
I was
foreshadowing, huh?
I was telling my wife, I was like, "You'll see her again. Like, you'll see her again." Maybe not this season, but you're gonna see her again.
Yeah.
I like how they threw that in there. That was real smooth.
Yeah, I was like,
a really
like,
nice little piece, a little puzzle piece, or
I do like that this place is leaving bread crumbs behind because probably they built a set. Like Jackson's gonna play a big part later, obviously. So
it's got to.
They built that damn town for sure. So it's gonna pay off like next season. They gotta get it to pay off.
Yeah.
But Jackson looks exactly it doesn't look exactly like in the game, but it gives you that same vibe. It gives you that same everything. And it's just like, damn, they went at no expense. We spared no expense.
I don't remember them getting and doing this and then going to
they didn't.
Colorado.
No, the whole thing in the game was that they were trying to get a power plant for Jackson started. So they're on the they're on the outskirts of town.
Okay.
So and then they got attacked by raiders, and then they got horses. Well, Ellie runs off for a little bit because she kind of realizes that Joel's trying to pawn her off.
Right.
And then that scene gets played really well. But we'll get to that in a bit.
I don't remember the pawn off at all.
It's exactly like it was.
Yeah, it's very verbatim on the game on that.
Yes, same setup. But we got to get some other stuff out of the way before that. So like you get that backstory where it's Ellie and Maria, and she's starting to talk about Joel's life.
Right.
Yeah.
She's starting to put things together. That he had a daughter.
Yeah, they talk about the daughter because he's like, "Oh, your two kids, the names are there," and she's like, "Oh no, Sarah's was Joel's daughter," and she's like, "Oh,
word."
oh, he had a, that kind of, okay, I see.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Like the wheels start turning.
Like, that's why he doesn't want to get too close to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you see Joel and his brother Tommy at the bar. That's a cool looking bar.
That is a cool little bar. There's so much animosity in that scene.
Ooh, yes. Lots of tension, lots of unresolved feelings.
Yeah. Like, I guess we'll see. Like, that's a horrible. Like, if my brother told me that, would be the same way.
Yeah, about him being a dad. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that would hurt me.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Yeah, dude. And it's just all fueled by whiskey. Like, I was like, oh, that's realistic. Yeah, that seems like something that would happen.
Right.
Like 2 Latinos talking like that? I guess we'll see. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, the way he said that too, like, what the hell is that? Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, that was heavy and sets up like a stage for conflict that pays off, you know? But you got to have a little bit in this like idyllic town. Like, what are you gonna chew on? Where's the drama?
Yeah. It can't just all be smooth sailing as they come through that.
So to go back, you mentioned them, the pawning off.
Yeah.
So he asked his brother, "Hey, take her." That was scene. Yeah. I can't be the one. You know, he was reflecting on that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. I'll be fucking up."
Yeah, he has like an internal reflection of how he's doing.
Yes.
And like I told Booty Pants this, he was like crying over spilled boots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he had like a powerful like inner reflection moment where he's realized he's getting like older, like he can't do everything like he was capable of before, and he like begs his brother.
Yeah.
And like he puts him in a very difficult position. It's like a selfish thing.
Yeah.
But you see that weakness in this humanity in this person that's been like hard for the whole.
Yeah,
like,
it brings that. Yeah. It kind of brings that whole like panic attack.
He talks
weakness, you know, like all to. Yeah, he does talk about how the fear is coming up and he just can't get through it anymore, and it just brings all of that kind of into a nice light.
And one thing that he doesn't say that is evident by how things have gone throughout this time. He's scared because he cares now.
Yeah.
He genuinely cares about this kid. He sees his brother. And I'm like, there's so much to unpack with the ask, because it's like, you know, your brother's about to have a baby.
Yeah, you know, and you're asking him to do this.
And you're finna send this dude on a potential death mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to raise his kid if he dies? Like, there's so much there where I was
he
like,
was ready to bounce. He was going to leave.
It was such a selfish thing for him to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's 1,000% self-serving. Like, but as you said, Carr, it shows the weakness of this man.
Yeah.
That's now you see the chink in this man's armor.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's something you got to see. Like, a lot of hero stories don't show you that moment of weakness. It's kind of cool that, you know, this main character's protagonist is going through that, showing you that. And then you're right, dude. Like, Tommy was ride or die for it. He was ready to go. And I'm glad that this kind of happens. And then that scene where Ellie and Joel Ellie confronts Joel.
Yeah, in the room. Yeah, they have that like argument, that semi father-daughter argument.
Yeah.
That was 100% a father-daughter argument.
But then it like flips and it's like, no, okay, look, this is
like, you're not my kid.
You're not my kid. Like,
right.
And he like,
right.
I'm not your dad. Like, yeah.
I'm not your dad.
Yeah.
She was open in that, you know, I'd be, if you don't come with me, I'm scared. Like,
yeah,
she opened, little girl and she opened that up.
Yeah. And I think there's something that I heard along this whole episode, like synopsis, where like he's afraid of losing her and she's afraid without him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what the whole thing is. It's not communicated between them, but she's finally have that moment where she opens up and be like, I'm scared without you, man. Like,
you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, I don't have feelings. You do. Yeah.
It's a hard thing. Yeah.
They can't get it out. Like you said, that's actually really good. That's really good. I never really considered that.
Yeah.
So they go the next day.
Yeah. Tommy comes to pick her up.
Yep.
Yeah. And it plays out.
She's just sitting there packed, ready.
Yep. She's like, all right,
we're back to this, you know, being pawned off, passed around into what I used to be in.
Pass me to the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm. Packed and ready to roll.
Yeah, she's cargo again. Yeah, she's cargo.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get a nice surprise.
Yeah, you see Joel trying to steal a horse, apparently. But yeah, it sets it up, and it just that conflict resolution's like still a sign of like childlike innocence, because she just forgives and forgets right there. Just shoves the bag on him.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
He's like, I want to give you.
I want to give you. Let's go.
Yeah, he made it like a big heavy thing where she was gonna be like, and I'm like, nah.
Like, she's like, it ain't even close. Partner.
Let's ride, bro.
I don't know him. And then, no offense, Tommy, but I don't know you like that.
And it shows that they kind of don't have to say I'm sorry to like patch things up.
Yeah.
Like whether that's good or bad, take that as you will.
That's a real family aspect that they're starting to show and show that they've developed. Because, you know, sometimes you get in arguments with whether it be your wife or your kid, and it's like, yeah, maybe you don't always apologize, but at the end of the day, it's like, you hungry? Like,
you know?
Yeah,
it's exactly what that is. Yeah, it's exactly what that is, man. And then she's like, he's showing her how to do some rifle shooting at the end of that episode.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I like that.
Yeah, total 180.
No, it's the barrel's bent.
Yeah, he just gets it.
And he just boom. Oh, and then they shut.
Oh, you mean when they get out of town? You said the end of the episode. Yeah. So then they're on their way now to Colorado to go to the university.
Mm-hmm. They get there. And now that looked exactly like the game.
Yeah.
I like that was clear memory for me. Like, I played all of this.
Yeah, dude.
Down to the monkeys.
Yeah.
The monkeys.
Yeah. That, I guess they modeled the college really well in the game. You know?
Now my brain might be confusing this with The Division 2.
All right.
But I thought you fought some soldiers inside of the college in the game.
No, you fight infected, and there's like a clicker in a very narrow hallway.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was waiting for.
So I'm thinking of The Division 2.
Yeah, I was thinking of like more infected or whatever. But yeah, that plays out pretty strangely. Yeah.
Like, pretty straightforward. You're in this big empty building. You're expecting. You're just waiting.
Yeah, man. That scene where even the monkey jumping out of the window, I was like, I was there, man. They nailed that. They nailed that 110%, bro. I was like, wow,
I've done this before.
Yeah. You're right though. There wasn't infected, and you didn't get that.
Yeah, you don't get that flavor because there's like tapes and stuff all over the building where it shows you that they all got infected because like one of the monkeys got infected and bit somebody. Yeah. And then none of that background is there. It's just the aftermath of it. And for some reason, there's still power. Mm-hmm. And then like through the tapes, you get the message that they went to like Salt Lake City or whatever.
Yes.
But this one's just like a board.
Yeah, it was a map. It was a map, and
all
then maps led to all roads led to
all things follow Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got to go further west.
Yeah, and at least the story cares enough to show you that the characters picked this up in that setting. You know what I mean? Because other ones would be like,
just be like, okay, now onward to Salt Lake City. Like,
3 months later.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like ham-fisted. It doesn't feel like you know, like it's overt. It's just, this is a natural thing that would come up in a building or whatever. So I mean, it's convenient, but
it is very convenient. So they go outside. You got the soldiers that pop up.
Or the Raiders.
The Raiders. I keep saying soldiers.
They were in the classroom or something, and you see them walk by underneath, and it's like, okay,
so they're trying to sneak out.
Go time. Yeah.
And so I remember he does get stabbed in the game.
Yeah, but like really badly, like impales himself on some rebar, like unrealistically, like so where that guy's not gonna recover from that. But this one seems a little bit more realistic. Like gets into it with a guy with a bat and the bat cracks and then
ends up in
and then that's gonna lead into where they're huddled up. I forgot where it was.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in the middle where there's like a camp resort or like a resort of sorts. Like
because that's when you play as her and you got to go shooting bow and arrow, right? And taking people out. Yeah.
And you run into like David and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I could remember the guy's name. So foreshadowing, they show you the preview of next week.
Yeah.
And it's
today.
Today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go into Left Behind.
Yeah.
And well, so how are you guys feeling so far?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it as a avid video game player, somebody who really enjoyed that game from a cinematic aspect of it. The recreation is very it's very it's very fulfilling to the original story, behind it. It's very authentic. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like very authentic, which I am just enjoying. I don't normally watch shows on a weekly basis. I wait for all the episodes to come out, and then I'm like, okay, let me binge it. Let me get 2 or 3 episodes in a row.
So this is satisfying for you.
Yeah, it's satisfying enough I'll wait. Like I'll wait a week.
Wow.
and I'll go and like it's what is it? It's getting late, bro. Like it's time to go. It's time to go catch this episode, man.
Yeah, like in 2 hours, we're getting ready for the next episode. Technically,
yeah.
It's for me. It's been like wonderful. I like it. I like that I've been playing the game in parallel with the story, just to kind of flesh it out for me and draw those comparisons quickly. Like I've just been taking my time with the first one. Like I know about the whole story and everything, but I never got to like finish it. So now I'm like caught up in that spot, and I think like Left Behind is chronologically the best fit for this break in the story, because that takes place when she's trying to tend to Joel while he's injured, while she's having her flashbacks. And so like that's how that fits into the narrative. I think like, oh, that's pretty good, because it's still on a timeline. There's just references to the past on the story, and that's all that DLC is. It fits right there in between that moment when Joel's like, like pretty much dying. Well, not dying, but he's in rough shape.
Yeah. Yes, he's
not conscious. Bad. Yeah.
So, how long was the DLC real quick? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm going to play it after I beat it, but I should have stopped in that moment and then just like picked that up and then plugged it in there and then went with the rest of the story. But that level's pretty tight. Like the whole thing when she's by herself and everything, that whole thing has a great resolution.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out in a couple episodes, but Left Behind is going to be like a welcome kind of backstory thing, because you're starting to,
because I'm so far behind in the game trying to catch up to the story.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well you started again with the remake, so yeah, this one's gonna be a good way for you, I guess, to really subscribe to the character. You know what I mean? Because everybody's starting to really like Ellie. She's starting to fall into her own, which is a shout out to the actress, Lord. What was her name?
She was Lady Mormont.
Yeah, Lady Mormont.
Her name is Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey is really just having a good rendition of this character.
She's having a fun go at it.
Yeah, she's having like her own. She's making it her own for sure.
She absolutely is.
At first. No,
go ahead.
No, at first I felt like a little hesitant, but now it seems like a good fit.
I'd say you still mad that she don't look like her?
That does bother me. I still don't think that. I am not loving the show. I'm actually liking it less now. Really? I want more action out of it. I know that I sound like a lame dude when I say that. It feels like I'm just watching modified versions of the cutscenes, and that's not holding me. Like when I've watched the first few episodes, my phone would be like over here.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'm just kind of like, all right, cool. I've seen this before. Yeah. And so like what I want to feel like you have an opportunity to bring more action from the game and still tell this compelling story. And so I just kind of wish it felt a little bit more like that. Some of the changes they made have been cool. Like I liked there is more that I do like the show.
Yeah.
I just don't love it. Like right now for me, it went from like a 4.5 to a 4.25. And now I'm at like a 3.75 to 4. I'm just like, I think I'm liking Pedro Pascal a little bit more as Joel. Like he's my stock in him has gone up. I do like Bella Ramsey, but she's still not right to me. It's not just the way she looks. The way they play her, it's still, I don't know. It just, there doesn't, even when they had the conflict, right? Yeah. And she's trying to finally open up and say she's scared.
Yeah.
As powerful as it was, it just felt like
her delivering it.
It just didn't deliver in a way that I would have hoped for me. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. You guys have been together long enough. That makes sense. It wasn't like, I care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain it. And so when they had the scene with Sam and Henry in episode 5, like, yeah, that was the way that guy did that.
Yeah, it was good watching for sure.
The scene that she did with Sam, that was great. All the scenes with her and Sam were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if she's an older sibling or not, or she has like a friend that's younger but it's like, you could tell.
Yeah, there was a tenderness there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's like watching my daughter, who is 11, with kids that are younger. Yeah. She's very tender with them. She's really good with them. And so I look at that, and she's good at doing that, but there's just still something that's not quite Ellie enough for me.
Yeah.
And so again, the changes they've done, I get it for Hollywood, but I don't know. I'm hoping that they kind of pick it up for me. I like the Left Behind thing does make sense to drop it in there. I thought what they would do is kind of drop Left Behind as an in between the two seasons, literally like a DLC, right? And just say, hey, we're going to give you a little taste, a little movie, a little 2-hour movie or a 2-hour episode or hour and a half movie that you can watch that's all Left Behind to get you ready in a month for
the next
season. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, oh man, I gotta wait another month for this. Oh, like a little sizzle, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I can see why they're doing that.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to make this next episode. I don't know what the running time is. It's gonna have to be an hour and a half, I think, because to kind of cliff note that thing is gonna be rough.
Yeah, you gotta. It's a lot to encompass.
But I'm also thinking about it from the perspective of playing the game. So if you're doing
see how they.
Yeah, if you're just going based on cutscenes, then yeah, you can cliff note it up, I guess. So I don't know. I hope it picks up for me. I don't hate it. I'm just kind of like, all right, I want you to.
You want your action.
I want to feel it more. Yeah, I want to.
You want to be scared. You want that not scared, but you know that unnervingness that you get when you're being chased down by
right.
There's not that many of them.
We know, yes, we don't. We know there's all these infected. Like they just kind of conveniently show up every once in a while, and they get teased, and you're like, oh,
yeah, they're more plot devices.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here they are. Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, they're here. Like when you watch The Walking Dead, I used to watch The Walking Dead.
There's swarms of everybody. People were like lining up to be extras on that show.
They're doing a great job of differentiating themselves from another zombie show like The Walking Dead, because you know that the world's effed up, and The Walking Dead does a good job of that. And then it also does the, hey, we found where everybody's happy. It goes to crap. Okay, we got to fight through it. Now we move to a different spot, or we move to a new spot. We got to fight for that spot because somebody's trying to come and take it. Blah blah blah. Rinse and repeat. It's just over and over. With this, they're doing a good job of showing different pockets of humanity to me, like at a much larger scale than The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's more about the people than
it is a lot more about the people. Yeah. And so like but the infected in this are a lot more vicious than they are in the Walking Dead games.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of that. I want to see that action. I want to see that horror you said. It doesn't even have to always be about, when I say action, I don't mean I need Michael Bay big explosions every 10 minutes. No,
I just want that suspense and that feeling that you get from those encounters.
I know it's a TV budget, but it's also HBO. You guys spent millions and millions of dollars on Game of Thrones. Like, so, you know, you can come in here and make it a little bit more epic in certain areas. Again, not every episode, but you can dial that up. So
it could be it seems like they don't want to do the fan service of that.
Yep.
I haven't seen a single Molotov. Like, you know, I haven't seen a bottle get thrown. I haven't seen a brick get thrown.
I haven't seen a bow and arrow.
Any of the with the little, what's it look like, nail bomb that you get?
Yeah, there's like none of that. Maybe it'll show up, but
we're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically it's 10 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So we're technically
we're 80% done after today. What is this, episode 7, 8?
7? It'll be 70%.
Yeah.
After tonight, right? So I'm hoping that they'll prove me wrong, and they're like, "Hey, look, thanks for sticking with us through a little bit of character development. Yeah. Now, in the last trilogy of the show, we're gonna dial it up to 11. You know, Left Behind is gonna give you a little bit more character development, probably a little bit of horror because we all know how that ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then 8, 9, and 10. All right,
let's get it.
Hold on to your asses.
Yeah, when I think about Mall and Zombies, I think about Dawn of the Dead. Let's go. Let's go.
So,
all right.
Well, fellas, any other thoughts?
Just one question, man.
Sure.
You bought the second one. Have you started it yet?
No, I'm not going to probably play it till this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta dial back video games for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I gotta still study for my cert, but I don't know. I may end up just playing like the first 10 minutes. I'm afraid to do it though, because I know if I play like the first part of the game, I'm gonna get sucked in.
Yeah. I got to save on there.
Just let me know when you start it, man. Let me know when you get into it. I want to get your reaction once you get through like an hour or 2 hours of playtime on how
I think that's all you need.
Well, well, I already know one spoiler that happens that we're not going to say on mic, but I already know that, you know, something crazy happens. And because YouTube is stupid, I was scrolling looking for something else entirely. And I saw a scene and I went, well, that sucks. So, hey, real quick fun fact. A show on Apple TV Plus I've been watching Mythic Quest. Craig Mazin was a character on that show. I didn't even realize it. Like I was like, when they showed him afterwards, I was like, man, that guy looks familiar.
He's got the end of every episode.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. We are going to close this thing out. Thanks for listening. We ran a little longer today, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
All right, y'all. Peace.